The boy locked eyes on the pool table, and instantly saw the perfect shot. With just his right hand on the cue stick, he struck precisely along the calculated path. Within seconds, 6 balls stopped right at the edges of 6 separate pockets. His opponent scoffed, thinking the kid had completely lost it, mocking what looked like a random, reckless shot. But the boy's mentor, watching from behind, simply snapped his fingers with quiet confidence. A second later, the cue ball exploded with a surge of hidden energy, sending the 6 target balls cleanly into their pockets. The crowd erupted. No one could believe the seemingly ordinary boy was actually the personal apprentice of a legendary figure, the masked king of billiards, a man who had won 9 consecutive world championships. Just the day before, the entire world had watched the masked king take on an impossible shot, where the ball was trapped against the cushion and in no-win position. But with just one look, he decoded the geometric puzzle and sank the shot, shocking viewers everywhere. What no one knew was that the masked king wasn't just a champion pool player, he was also a national-level math genius. To him, every shot on the table was simply a geometry problem waiting to be solved. While the world was still reeling from his latest win, the state governor dropped a bombshell announcement. He was offering his daughter's hand in marriage to the champion. The crowd went dead silent. The young man's expression changed instantly, clutching his stomach and pretending to feel sick. He made a run for it, only to be caught a few steps later by his grandmother, who promptly ordered him to head to Jiangzhou's pool club. He wanted to refuse. That club was remote and barely on the map, but just as he turned to object, he spotted the governor's daughter's bodyguards closing in. With no other option, he dove into his grandma's car and sped off in retreat. Meanwhile, the Jiangzhou Pool Club was facing a crisis. If they didn't win the upcoming Southern Championship, they'd be forced to shut down and liquidate. So when the young man walked through the doors, the club director felt like reinforcements had arrived from heaven and immediately named him head coach. Not everyone was thrilled. One woman, who had brought in one of the region's top 20 coaches, Coach Zhang, laughed coldly, calling him an unqualified street player with no business coaching anyone. The young man didn't argue. Instead, he walked over to a 10-year-old boy with zero pool experience and boldly declared that within 3 days, he'd turn him into a tournament dominator. The crowd burst into laughter. They thought he'd lost his mind. But instead of teaching pool, the young man strapped 100-pound iron wristbands onto the kid's arms and made him wear them around the clock. He took him spear fishing in rivers, singing in noisy karaoke bars, and solving pages of geometry problems. No mistakes allowed. The boy was exhausted and totally confused. What did any of this have to do with pool? He had no idea. Every one of those math problems was a blueprint for real table shots, and the chaos of the KTV was a test of focus and composure. 3 days later, the boy was transformed. The first challenge was about control, hitting 5 out of 10 iron balls into pockets. Coach Zhang's team member sank 6 with ease. The woman's player hit 7. The boy trembled under the weight of his gear, and wasn't allowed to take it off.